Welcome to Stoic Vibe, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Are you waking up at 4 a.m. and wondering what it means, or what to do with that sacred silence before the world stirs? You're not alone. In fact, many great Stoics believed that the early morning was a powerful time for self-mastery, clarity, and purpose. So if you're waking up early, by choice or by chance, here are 10 Stoic habits you can adopt to transform your mornings and, ultimately, your life. Habit 1 is begin with inner stillness. In the teachings of the Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, there is a powerful reminder that the first moments of your day must belong to you and you alone, not to the world, not to your phone, not to social media, and certainly not to the demands of others. These early minutes, often before the sun rises, hold a special kind of stillness that the Stoics saw as sacred. They believed that the mind, fresh from sleep and untouched by the chaos of daily life, was closest to its natural state in these moments. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, repeatedly told himself to return to his inner citadel, a fortress of calm and reason within the soul where the noise of the world could not reach. This space within, accessed through silence, reflection, or even mindful breathing, is where clarity is born. At 4 a.m., before texts flood in, before the news cycle begins, and before the world begins its constant tug-of-war for your attention, there exists a golden opportunity. Instead of scrolling through endless posts or diving into tasks, the Stoics would urge you to sit. Just sit. Breathe deeply. Let your thoughts come and go. Observe, but do not react. This small act of self-possession, done consistently, can sharpen your mind and balance your emotions like few other habits can. It is in this quiet that you meet yourself, your real self, not the version shaped by expectations, pressure, or distraction. In a society that celebrates busyness and thrives on constant input, this simple, intentional beginning offers a radical alternative, one rooted in control, awareness, and calm. It allows you to start the day from a place of strength, rather than stress. You set your direction, instead of being swept away by everyone else's. The discipline of claiming the first moments of the day for yourself gives you an edge, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. Over time, it becomes a habit of deep resilience, allowing you to face chaos without becoming chaotic. In this silence, there is truth. In this pause, there is power. And in this daily return to your own inner citadel, there is freedom, the kind of freedom that doesn't depend on circumstances, but on the choice to begin with yourself every single day. Habit 2 is reflect on control. One of the most powerful and enduring teachings of Stoic philosophy is the idea that we should focus only on what we can control and release everything else. This principle, taught by great Stoic minds like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, serves as a daily anchor for those who seek inner peace and mental clarity in a chaotic world. At the heart of this teaching is a simple but transformative question: what is mine to influence today, and what must I release? Starting each day, especially in the early, undisturbed hours like 4 a.m., with this reflection can have a profound impact on your mindset. At that time, the world is still quiet. No messages are flooding your phone, no news headlines are demanding your emotional reaction, and no expectations are being placed upon you. In that silence, you are free to center yourself and prepare your mind to move through the day with purpose, not panic. This practice can take many forms. Some choose to sit quietly in thought, while others prefer to journal their intentions. Both are valid paths to self-awareness and discipline. As you think about what is within your control, your effort, your attitude, your words, your actions, you also begin to recognize the many things that are not. How others behave, the outcomes of your efforts, unexpected challenges, or changes in circumstance. By identifying this difference clearly, you train yourself to invest your limited mental and emotional energy where it truly matters, and to let go of what only drains and distracts. This mental discipline does not numb you to the world, but instead empowers you to engage with it wisely. If you're facing stress at work, uncertainty in relationships, or anxiety about the future, remember that you cannot always change what happens, but you can always choose how to respond. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea, when practiced consistently in those early hours, reshapes your entire approach to life. You stop being ruled by fear or frustration and begin acting with calm, focused intention. The habit of early morning reflection builds a habit of strength. It's not about having control over everything. It's about knowing what is yours to shape and having the courage to let the rest go. In doing so, you begin each day not as a victim of circumstance but as an author of your response, grounded in clarity and purpose. Over time, this simple practice becomes a way of life, a quiet but unshakable strength that helps you meet the chaos of the world with composure, confidence, and wisdom. Habit 3 is rehearse the day, premeditation malorum. The Stoics practiced a powerful mental exercise known as premeditation malorum, the premeditation of evils, not as an act of pessimism, but as a tool for cultivating calm preparedness and inner resilience. This ancient practice involves envisioning possible challenges, discomforts, or setbacks before they happen, so that when adversity inevitably arrives, it doesn't destabilize you. At 4 a.m., in the stillness of early morning, this practice becomes especially potent. In that hour of silence, when the world hasn't yet demanded your attention, you have the space to calmly walk through your coming day and anticipate potential difficulties. What might go wrong at work? What emotions might test your patience? Who might frustrate you, and what uncertainties might surface? Rather than being caught off guard later, you calmly explore these scenarios now, not to scare yourself, but to rehearse your response. It is not about dreading the worst, but preparing your mind to stay grounded when things don't go as planned. Like a warrior sharpening their blade before battle, you are strengthening your mindset before entering the unpredictable arena of daily life. This mental rehearsal helps you respond rather than react. When we expect everything to go smoothly, even minor disruptions feel like disasters. But when we've already thought through difficulties with composure, they lose their power to shock or shake us. Seneca, one of the great Stoic minds, said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." This reminds us that excessive worry without purpose is wasted pain, but intentional preparation is a source of strength. Premeditation malorum teaches you to expect obstacles, not because you're negative, but because life is unpredictable and you refuse to be controlled by that unpredictability. Instead, you train yourself to meet each moment with clarity and control. This early morning practice transforms anxiety into awareness and fear into foresight. It allows you to approach your day with what the Stoics called strategic calm. You're not avoiding discomfort, you're meeting it in advance, on your own terms, before it has a chance to overwhelm you. Over time, this habit builds a mental toughness that is quiet but unshakable. You'll begin to notice that fewer things rattle you, that frustration gives way to patience, and that setbacks no longer ruin your rhythm. You become, like the Stoics intended, someone who is unbreakable not because life is easy, but because your mind is ready. And that readiness, cultivated at 4 a.m. in solitude and silence, is your greatest armor. Habit 4 is align with purpose. At 4 a.m., while the world is still cloaked in silence and the mind unburdened by noise, there lies a profound opportunity to shape the direction of your entire day with a single intentional question: what virtue will I embody today? Will it be courage in the face of fear, patience amid irritation, discipline when distraction calls, or perhaps wisdom in moments that require calm judgment? The Stoics taught that life becomes meaningful when it is guided by virtue, by qualities that elevate us beyond impulse, reaction, or external validation. Stoicism is often misunderstood as the suppression of emotion, but in truth, it is about mastering our inner world so we can act with clarity and purpose. It is not coldness, but conscious direction. To begin the day by selecting a virtue is to declare to yourself that you will not drift through life passively, you will lead it. This quiet ritual, done before the sun rises and before the world imposes its chaos, plants a seed of intention in the mind. Write it down. Let the words have weight. Visualize situations where that chosen virtue will be tested, and imagine yourself responding with strength and grace. If you choose patience, picture the traffic, the difficult conversation, the delay, and see yourself breathing through it. If you choose discipline, envision the tasks you must complete, the temptations to procrastinate, and the focus you will summon instead. This simple act, one word, one virtue, serves as a compass. When challenges appear, and they always do, you're not left grasping for direction. You already have your guide. By centering your day around a virtue, you shift from being reactive to being deliberate. You live with depth, not just speed. You respond with integrity, not just instinct. And in doing so, you begin to lead your own life instead of letting circumstances lead you. This habit, small though it may seem, gives your day structure beneath the surface. It weaves meaning into your decisions and brings a kind of sacredness to even the most mundane tasks. You are no longer just going through the motions, you are practicing a way of being. In a world filled with distraction and noise, this quiet morning act becomes your inner sanctuary. It's where intention is born. It's where you remind yourself who you are and who you strive to become. And when practiced daily, it becomes a quiet revolution of the self, one that builds character, resilience, and a life lived on purpose. Habit 5 is practice voluntary discomfort. The Stoics deeply understood that comfort can be a deceptive trap, softening the mind and spirit, while discomfort, when embraced intentionally, can be a forge for inner strength. They believed that exposing yourself to mild discomfort wasn't about self-inflicted suffering or denial for its own sake, but a form of mental training to prepare for life's inevitable hardships. At 4 a.m., when the world is still quiet and your willpower is at its peak, this philosophy can take shape in simple yet powerful acts. Taking a cold shower, stepping into an early workout when every part of you craves more sleep, or choosing to forego a daily luxury like coffee, warm blankets, or screen time. The intention is not to punish yourself, but to remind yourself that comfort is optional and that strength is something you build, not something you're given. As Musonius Rufus, one of the lesser-known but deeply respected Stoic teachers, wisely put it, practice yourself, for heaven's sake, in little things. Those little things, waking before the sun, enduring the cold, resisting the easy path, are what cultivate discipline in layers. They condition your mind to respond with resilience when true adversity strikes. In moments of unexpected challenge, sickness, loss, failure, betrayal, your training shows. You don't crumble. You breathe, you adapt, you endure. Discomfort becomes familiar, not frightening. And this resilience is not loud or showy. It's quiet and unshakable, the kind that stands firm when others fall apart. In today's comfort-seeking culture, where convenience is king and even slight inconvenience is met with frustration, this kind of self-discipline is rare, and therefore powerful. Every cold shower becomes more than just a physical jolt. It's a message to yourself that you can choose hardship and survive it. Every skipped indulgence reminds you that you are not ruled by cravings. Every early morning challenge you conquer builds a psychological reserve of confidence and toughness. By choosing discomfort intentionally, you reclaim control over your responses, your habits, and your inner world. This is not about rejecting joy or pleasure. It's about making sure you're not owned by them. When you train your body and mind in the early hours of the day, you sharpen your edge, so when life throws its unexpected blows, you meet them with a calm, conditioned strength. You become the kind of person who doesn't need ideal circumstances to function. You've trained yourself to be resilient in any circumstance. And in doing so, you embody one of the core truths of Stoic wisdom. The path to freedom begins with self-mastery. Habit 6 is embrace the morning with gratitude. The Stoics understood the power of gratitude and its ability to transform one's mindset, creating a deep sense of peace and contentment regardless of external circumstances. They recognized that, in a world that often pushes us to seek more, it's easy to forget the value of what we already have. This is why they emphasized the importance of practicing gratitude, not just as an occasional reflection but as a daily habit. At 4 a.m., when the world is still asleep and the mind is free from the clutter of the day, taking a moment to express thanks for your life can be incredibly grounding. This isn't about grandiose gestures of thanks, but rather a quiet acknowledgement of the blessings that are already part of your life. Your health, your relationships, the opportunities ahead, and even the challenges that shape your growth. It's about embracing the fullness of your life in its current form, before the distractions and demands of the day take over. A gratitude practice in the early morning doesn't just lift your mood, it shifts your perspective entirely. When you begin your day with appreciation, you're not caught up in what's lacking or what's wrong. Instead, you start from a place of abundance, recognizing that you already possess much of what truly matters. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, taught that true wealth is not measured by material possessions but by the quality of our inner lives and the richness of our relationships. What you have in the present moment, your health, your ability to think, your ability to choose how to respond to life, are the truest forms of wealth. When you take time each morning to reflect on these things, you align yourself with this Stoic view, shifting your focus from scarcity to abundance. This simple act of gratitude, done each morning, has a ripple effect throughout your day. It becomes a lens through which you view everything. The challenges that might otherwise seem overwhelming become opportunities for growth, and the people you encounter are seen as partners in your shared journey, not obstacles or annoyances. Gratitude allows you to embrace the present, with all of its imperfections, instead of constantly chasing after a future that may never arrive. During difficult times, this practice becomes even more powerful. In moments of adversity, it's easy to feel as though everything is working against you, but by grounding yourself in gratitude, you tap into a well of strength that helps you navigate those moments with greater clarity and grace. Gratitude doesn't ignore life's challenges. It simply shifts the focus to what you can appreciate, even in the midst of them. It fosters resilience, emotional balance, and a deeper connection to the present moment. In a world that often encourages comparison, competition, and discontent, a morning gratitude habit becomes a revolutionary act. It allows you to start your day centered in peace, ready to face whatever comes with a heart full of appreciation. Through this practice, you not only enrich your life but also begin to embody one of the Stoics' greatest teachings, that true wealth lies not in what you acquire, but in what you already possess. Habit 7 is focus on small wins. Instead of setting grand, overwhelming goals that can often feel unattainable or intimidating, the Stoics recommended breaking your day down into small, manageable tasks that build momentum and create a sense of accomplishment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, captured this Stoic wisdom with the insight that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This statement embodies the Stoic belief that obstacles are not roadblocks but opportunities for progress. The key is to approach challenges not as barriers but as pathways to growth. Each morning, rather than focusing on the grand vision of your entire day or a distant goal, focus on small, achievable tasks that you can tackle with intention and clarity. These tasks can be as simple as making your bed, meditating for 5 minutes, or drinking water first thing upon waking. These small actions may seem trivial at first, but in reality, they serve as the foundation for greater accomplishments. By taking care of these seemingly insignificant tasks, you set the tone for the rest of the day, building a sense of order, discipline, and confidence. Small wins like these compound throughout the day, providing the psychological momentum needed to approach larger, more complex challenges with a calm and purposeful mindset. Over time, these simple acts of discipline become habits, and habits form the bedrock of a resilient and purposeful life. When you break down your day into smaller, more manageable pieces, you also make the seemingly impossible tasks appear more achievable. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by an entire to-do list, you start with one task. Each one completed builds your sense of competence and control. This approach creates a positive feedback loop. Completing small goals boosts your motivation and belief in your ability to overcome obstacles, which in turn encourages you to take on bigger challenges. Moreover, these small tasks often act as the groundwork for deeper internal growth. For instance, by setting the intention to meditate for 5 minutes, you not only gain the immediate benefit of quieting your mind, but also cultivate mental clarity and focus, which will serve you throughout the day. Drinking water in the morning might seem trivial, but it sets a tone of self-care that carries you into the next task, and so on. The Stoic mindset teaches that you don't need to accomplish everything at once to make progress. The key is to embrace the process, to understand that every small action taken toward your goal is a step closer to becoming who you want to be. As you build confidence through small wins, you start to develop a deeper sense of agency over your life. This practice of taking small steps transforms your approach to challenges, allowing you to face even the most overwhelming obstacles with a calm, resolute mindset. It reminds you that progress isn't always about taking giant leaps, but rather about moving forward, one step at a time, with intention and focus. Habit 8 is cultivate patience. Stoicism is deeply rooted in the belief that patience is a key virtue, one that often stands in stark contrast to the immediate gratification many of us seek in our fast-paced, instant-access world. In an age where we expect rapid results and constant progress, the Stoics teach us that true strength lies not in quick fixes or the ability to force outcomes, but in our capacity to endure hardship and delays with grace. This concept of patience is not about passivity or inaction, but rather about maintaining composure, clarity, and perseverance while life unfolds at its own pace. The Stoics, especially figures like Seneca and Epictetus, emphasized that the ability to remain patient in the face of adversity is a reflection of inner peace and mental fortitude. Each morning, you can begin to cultivate this virtue by resisting the urge to rush, push, or try to control everything around you. In a world that prizes efficiency and speed, it's easy to forget that not everything needs to happen immediately. When you wake up at 4 a.m., instead of being consumed with thoughts of what you need to do next or worrying about outcomes, take a step back and give yourself permission to simply be. You don't need to have everything figured out by the time the day starts. Instead, allow the morning to unfold naturally, without the pressure of rushing toward goals or forcing things to happen. This act of mental slowing down isn't about inactivity. It's about creating the space to allow things to unfold on their own time, knowing that not everything is under your control. Practicing patience each morning could also mean taking a moment to breathe deeply, meditating for a few minutes, or simply observing your surroundings without feeling the need to rush to the next task. These quiet, reflective moments help you build the resilience needed to handle whatever delays or challenges might arise throughout the day. Whether you're waiting in a long line, dealing with a slow project at work, or encountering an unexpected setback, your ability to remain calm and composed reflects the internal peace you've nurtured through patience. The Stoics taught that the universe moves at its own pace, and by accepting this natural rhythm, you stop wasting energy on things you cannot control. Instead of reacting with frustration or impatience, you can choose to respond with grace and clarity, understanding that every delay or inconvenience is an opportunity to practice the virtue of patience. Over time, patience becomes a tool that empowers you to navigate life's unpredictability with a sense of calm. The more you practice it, the stronger and more resilient you become in the face of life's inevitable challenges. In cultivating this Stoic virtue, you learn to be present, accepting that everything has its own time, and that true strength lies in how you handle the waiting. Habit 9 is seek wisdom, not opinion. The Stoics made a clear distinction between wisdom and mere opinion, recognizing that true wisdom lies in understanding and reason, while opinions are often shaped by external influences and biases. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by external noise, from social media updates to the endless stream of news, often before we've even fully woken up. However, the Stoics advised against immediately diving into this flood of information. Instead, they emphasized the importance of starting the day with intentionality, focusing on what truly contributes to your inner growth and clarity. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle highlights the importance of cultivating a mindset rooted in wisdom, rather than reacting impulsively to external circumstances. One of the most effective ways to do this is to spend the first moments of your day immersed in Stoic texts or other philosophical readings, rather than immediately scrolling through social media or consuming the latest news. At 4 a.m., before the demands of the world begin to infiltrate your mind, you have a unique opportunity to absorb wisdom that challenges your thinking, offers new insights, and aligns you with your true purpose. Reading Stoic works like Marcus Aurelius' Meditations or Epictetus' Discourses helps you internalize the timeless teachings of the Stoics, reminding you that wisdom comes from within, not from external sources. These texts encourage you to reflect on your own thoughts and actions, rather than adopting opinions or perspectives handed to you by others. In a society that often values quick opinions and emotional reactions over reasoned thought, taking the time to read something that encourages deep reflection sets a powerful tone for the rest of your day. When you start your morning with wisdom rather than noise, you equip yourself with the mental tools to navigate the challenges that will inevitably arise throughout the day. You're less likely to be swayed by fleeting opinions or external pressures because you've grounded yourself in the Stoic understanding that your thoughts and reactions are within your control. This practice not only fosters mental clarity but also provides you with a sense of purpose, helping you stay true to your values and goals despite the distractions and expectations of the world around you. By intentionally choosing to begin your day with philosophy, you reinforce the Stoic belief that our responses to external events, rather than the events themselves, define the quality of our lives. In doing so, you create a morning routine that encourages personal growth, self-discipline, and resilience, key components of living a meaningful and purpose-driven life. Habit 10 is practice self-reflection. The Stoics placed great importance on regular self-reflection as a means of personal growth and self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, made it a daily practice to reflect on his actions each evening, asking himself, "What did I do well today? What could I have done better?" This simple yet powerful practice helped him maintain clarity and focus on his journey of self-mastery. It served as a tool for growth, allowing him to learn from his experiences, acknowledge his strengths, and identify areas where improvement was needed. While Marcus Aurelius typically reflected on his day in the evening, you can adopt this same practice in the morning, especially if you wake up early and have the mental clarity to do so. Morning reflection offers a unique opportunity to start the day with intention and purpose. Rather than diving straight into your routine or the demands of the outside world, take a few moments to reflect on your character, progress, and intentions. Ask yourself questions like, "Am I living according to my values today?" Or, "Am I practicing virtue in all my interactions?" Or, "Am I reacting emotionally to circumstances?" This self-reflection in the morning provides an opportunity to course-correct and set a clear path for the day ahead. It's not about self-criticism, but about gaining awareness of how you can live more in alignment with your deeper values and principles. By checking in with yourself in the morning, you create a foundation of self-awareness that will guide your actions and decisions throughout the day. This reflection also gives you the chance to reset if you find yourself veering off course. If you recognize areas where you've fallen short or failed to practice virtues like patience, humility, or courage, you can set a conscious intention to improve in those areas as you move through the day. For instance, if you find that you've been reactive to external circumstances in the past, remind yourself to focus on responding with thoughtfulness and equanimity rather than emotional impulsiveness. Morning self-reflection doesn't require a long, drawn-out process. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes to center yourself, reflect on your intentions, and set your mindset for the day. By making this practice a part of your morning routine, you equip yourself with the tools needed to approach each day with a sense of purpose and direction. It allows you to approach each moment with greater awareness and intentionality, making small improvements every day, which ultimately leads to long-term personal growth. This habit of self-reflection, like all Stoic practices, isn't about perfection. It's about progress and striving to live in alignment with the highest version of yourself. If you're waking up at 4 a.m., it's not a mistake, it's an opportunity. The Stoics believed that every day is a fresh chance to train your mind, sharpen your character, and live with intention. These 10 habits don't just fill time, they shape who you're becoming. Thanks for watching Stoic Vibe. If this resonated, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's ready to own their mornings the Stoic way.